So they'll be calling you a radical. Real important video. I hope I don't start to cry. So the mentor who meant so much to me, the great artist, helped me become the activist artist. Right there in that building, Arthur Adelman is dead. He meant so much to me. He was such a brilliant activist. Then I'm going to get to the fraud of Alex Jones, the psycho. Yeah, now he's claiming psychosis. Little fat fucker. Psycho, all right. He did it for money. Getting down with EZRA Pound. EZRA Pound, who's that? What's that? Getting down with EZRA Pound. I think Arthur would be so fucking proud of me. Arthur was a Berkeley guy. He got out. He knew. He says, Kevin, you keep up this anti-nuclear stance. This is the water. I says, I know. I'm going at him right in their face. He's like, Kevin, they will kick you out. Good. Fuck good. He had a long talk with me. The great Jane Cat. They had a lot of talks with me. I was a double major. I was art and finance, the only one in the history of this school. He says, they're going to come after you. And I says, good. What a feather in my fucking cap. And he says, that's why you are, you know, he loved me. He did so much for me. I says, you going to write me a letter of recommendation or not? And he says, I don't know how to type. You know how to write. So I have it. It's in that building right there. A lot of his artwork's in that building. Let's keep this going. When the clock rings 10, I'll show you some of his paintings. He meant so much to me. He fled Berkeley for this very reason. He was here. So one day I hung a painting right here on the wall, and the panty painters went crazy, and it was a girl naked, being pulled up by balloons, upside down, you know, and she had these big breasts, flipped, blah, 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 blah. I'll never forget it. And the panty painters, and this is, by the way, this is when the controversy was going on whether we had nude models in those days. This great art school, Doyle Strong, I mean, that got taken over by a rat piece of dog shit named Jim Jacobs. Really loser piece of shit. And so, it's down there in our beautiful building now. So, he's like, these guys, I'll never forget this panty painter says, you need an anatomy drawing class. I says, and Arthur speaks up and he says, he's in my anatomy drawing class. He's my best student. And I looked at him and this guy. I says, you ever seen a real beautiful young female upside down hanging by 1 foot in your art studio? And the girl that was in the class right over there, that was her. And she's like, I says, naked? I fucking have. I'll never forget, the girl stands up and she says, I can attest to that, you know, and I says, well, you tell me, is it you? And she says, perfect. Althman spit his coffee across. He had a lot of talks with me as the activist artist. He meant a lot. He meant so much to me. I'll never forget it. One day I says, well, you know, he says, you're doing finance and art. How disgusting, a life of just making money. I says, I get that. You sell your art, don't you? Yeah. So to Alex fucking Jones, getting down with EZRA Pound. I know Bill O'Reilly's people personally, really well, from my days in New York. Why? Because I'm involved with Dorothy Day. I'm involved with Megan Rice. I'm involved with the Catholic Workers' Rights. I'm heavily involved at the Dorothy Day House in D.C. and, you know, the whole New York apparatus. He's a good old Irish Catholic boy. To Bill O'Reilly. To Stephen Colbert. Stephen, if you're an actor, what am I? He is, I mean, it's all an act. He'll tell you it's an act. He's told you face to face it's an act. That's where all the money is. That's what Alex Jones is. Alex Jones, you know, he did it for views. He did it. One of those little girls that died right here, the Parker little girls from Ogden. He's a fucking master, and all the and you know, he tapped into the psychos. Everything's order, and then he tried to tap into Fukushima, whatever. You know, I talked two different people. You can look at it. Alex, why don't you have Kevin Blanch, the great anti-nuclear actor? You can look at it. Their videos are out there. Oh, Kevin Blanch, yeah, you know, because I told him to fuck off, just like I did RT. He's a fucking psycho. He did it for money. He did it for money. He did it for money because that's where all the money. Now, EZRA Pound. Why did EZRA Pound become so anti-Semitic in Italy? And by the way, Alex Jones is no EZRA Pound, that little fat fucking piece of shit. I hate that fucking guy. Fuck what he did to Fukushima, what he twisted it all in. It's like this fucking, the Stone, no, Jim, not Roger. I mean, Roger Stone, another political operative for money. They were paid. Just like Michael Savage, they were paid. They were paid. Don't you see they're political operatives? I could prove it. Fukushima, Fukushima, Fukushima. Their god, Trump, who's the more fucking cover-up Fukushima, ABE's fucking puppet, who's more pro-nuclear than ever. You've been had. Remember the far radical right? You were all anti-nuclear, anti-nuclear. Now you got fucking God Trump, who he betrayed you. He fucked you. He played you. Just like Obama played the fucking left. Just like Bush played the Republicans. Remember fucking Obama, the anti-war machine, ended up being the biggest war mass murdering in history. EZRA Pound and his beautiful wife. They put him in a cage, put him in the psycho ward. EZRA Pound spoke 8 languages. By the way, he's a local guy here, born and raised here. Idaho boy. Well, come on, we were poor. That's where all the money was in freaking Italy in those days. He did it for money. Not my word, the Jew's words, the great Jewish poet. Ginsburg, he said the same thing. He says, please, come on. It was an act. Alex Jones said when his wife sued him, well, don't you know, it's all an act. I'm a performance artist. Remember I did my videos? If he's a performance artist, what the fuck am I? No, I'm the activist. I'm the activist artist. Arthur Adamwood, he mentored me in so many fucking ways. He did so much for me. As you know, we're the Wattis School of Art. Remember, he came from Berkeley. He left Berkeley for this very fucking reason. He was a fucking gem. A fucking gem. That's our new art school, which is beautiful building. We got the dual strong painting back up, and just like he said, I was blackballed. I taught at the Wattis School of Business. That's who built the reactors at Fukushima, Japan. He knew it. We all knew it. I'll cry. So I spent last night with the Japanese activists on Iki. So just like Alex Jones did this to the Sandy Hook victims. Look what Donald Trump and ABE, his puppet master. First one into the towers was ABE. So for a Japanese PM to come here once every 40 years is a big deal. Remember when he first came? I knew Aaron Swartz personally. When he first came, Aaron Swartz was all about exposing the cover-up of Fukushima. The captured Ph.D.s, which they took mine from me. Things are heating up, Alex. So remember, when Aaron Swartz broke in. So ABE comes here, first Japanese PM, only the second visit since the bomb. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, folding paper cranes, fucking Iki, the great Japanese swimmer, 2020 leukemia games in the fight of her life. Trump and ABE are going after her. They've blocked her Twitter account, her last Twitter account. So I Skyped with some activists inside Japan last night who know her, whatever. She's in critical condition right now. And you don't think I know? I've been through the same fucking thing. You know, we had a long talk. I'm an AML leukemia survivor. Got cancer on 11/11/11. Obama went after me. Mike Lee kicked me off Medicaid, tried to make a sequel out of me, tried to murder me. That's what they're trying to do to her. They blocked her Twitter account. Her last tweet was about Fukushima. It's gone now. 500-something. They're blocking her. She's in critical condition in the bone marrow triangle. She's born in Tokyo. Rachel and I have the readings. We have the readings, and I'm going to be getting those up. I saw more readings in Tokyo last night. Rachel proves the readings. 2 years of independent labs. We have the water was contaminated in Tokyo. Still is. Still is. ABE and Trump, first one into Trump Towers, first one into the White House on inauguration. ABE, 4 days at Mar-a-Lago. High five on the golf course. We've killed the world. Yay. He's worse than Obama. Fucking scumbags. Alex Jones did it for money. He did it for money. I like how the Mueller fucking thing stops every time they get to the nuclear energy. Flynn worked for fucking the nuclear energy crime syndicate. Mueller worked for them. So did fucking Alex Jones. How come he doesn't talk Fukushima now? His Lord and Savior, because he was paid. He was paid. Just like fucking Michael Savage was paid to call it New World Order when it's old as Babylon and evil as hell. Let's walk in here and look at some of Arthur's paintings. You know, he did so much for me. The great activist fucking artist. He wasn't an activist artist. He moved to southern Utah. I'm sure cancer got him. I had a talk with him. I said, "You're really going to move to southern Utah? You know it's the cancer capital of the world." Yeah. But he left here in Ogden. He says, "I can't take it here anymore." And I says, "I get it. I get it." He says, "These fucking politically fucking freaks." He was gay. Openly gay. He told me one day, "Kevin, the anatomy drawing class," I says, "Yeah, you guys get some good-looking models in here, boy." And I says, "Yeah." And he says, "Yeah, I understand you've been sleeping with a couple of them." Well, I'm not saying nothing. So, what? I don't know. And so, he says, "You never show up on the male model day. How come you never show up at the male model day? You a homophobe?" I said, "I ain't no homophobe. No way." I says, he says, "You're the best anatomy drawer in the class, by far." And I says, "Yeah." And then I go abstract. I don't like I don't want to be a camera. I says, if I need to draw the male body, I can look in the fucking mirror. And the model that day, she was stark naked. I'll never forget it. Stands up and she says, oh, I could testify to that. God, I mean, I says, no, happy birthday to Vincent van Gogh. Happy birthday to all the beautiful people. By the way, Iki, the great Japanese swimmer, born on the 4th of July, as they're trying to murder her. Trump and ABE, Alex Jones, the paid fucking right-winger, I mean, you fucking hypnotized fainting goats. Obama versus Trump, they're the exact identical twins. Versus Hillary, they're all the same trilogy. They're all the same. ABE. The fucking Putin's puppet. Nope. Trump is not Putin's puppet. He's ABE's puppet. ABE. The fucking royal family. Now remember, Trump. This is important. Now remember. Boogeyman, North Korea, he got nothing accomplished. Boogeyman, me oh my, like Obama, Nobel Prize. I'll give you the Nobel Prize, Kevin Blanch. So, Boogeyman. Japan hates him. The anti-nuclear movement's giant. But this story with Iki is paramount. It's going psycho over there, and we're gonna do some Skyping. I've got readings. I've got an activist she's gonna do it with. We're all working on it. You know. Boogeyman. They call a special election. Trump had to okay the special election, the 51st state, Yalta by the Sea. They get him reelected. Then, instead of Boogeyman, North Korea is Trump's best friend. A man who murdered his own uncle, murdered his own fucking brother. He's a great man, Trump calls him. And what did they accomplish? They got ABE, the nuclear fucking cover-up Fukushima 2020 king, reelected. That's what he got. Look, man, no hands. So the great Stewart Library, with the likes of Arthur Adamon, Edward ABE, so many, Falma K. Brody, Bernard DeVoto. Are these Adamons? I'm pretty sure. Yep. Those are Arthur's paintings. Eddie T died too, the great basketball player here. I was friends with him too. The great Arthur Adamon. He did so much for me. Kevin, you know they'll blackball you and go after you and try to kill you. Yeah, fuck them. I don't care. He says, by the way, straight A student I was, and Jim Jacobs kicked me out, failed me on a piece of art that I sold for $30,000. Long before I got fucking cancer. Look like cancer cells, don't they? I'm sure that's what took him. Thank you, Arthur. I love you, man. I'll never forget you.